Wildcats, this is Mrs. Lueras. I wanted to read Archie Architecture to you. It's a story that I wrote because I'm from Chicago and Chicago's well known for its architecture. So I wanted to tell the world how great Chicago is, and I wanted people to know about its beautiful architecture and just how the city makes you feel because of its wonderful history and its people. Okay, so we're going to read it as an ebook. Here we go. Once there was a boy who loved Chicago. He also loved architecture. That boy was named Archie Architecture. That boy's me. Do I love Chicago so much because of its architecture? Or do I love architecture so much because I live in Chicago? I love the smell of the city streets when they're freshly rained on. The warm breeze that lives in the green leaves for a few months of the year and brushes your hair and makes you feel like a new person. The months where you walk in snow that is this high and your eyes are half closed because the wind is especially crabby. The in-between months that can't decide if they're hot or cold. Sometimes you wear flip-flops in the morning and a sweater at night. I love the people who drive the big buses and wait for you to pull out your bus card with your mittened hands, because sometimes it takes you a while in January to feel your fingers. Yep, it's super cold in Chicago in the winter. The ones on the train who may not always talk to you because they have noisy little plugs in their ears, but who always stand up for a grandpa or a mommy. The ones who drive you from the airport back into the city that you missed while you were away. And if you zoom in, you can see Archie in the taxi cab. I love the river and the lake. That's the Chicago River and Lake Michigan. They're your good friends in the warm weather, but in the winter they say, please stay away for now. See how in the winter you can't have boats on the water because they'll freeze. I love that Chicago has a great big history. And this man is telling his friend, my great-grandfather used to work in the stockyards. I love that the city starts over if it has to. And here's the water tower that survived the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. It's the only building that survived the Great Fire. I love that people are so proud of their city. And this girl's saying, we have the best pizza. And he's saying, and the tallest buildings. I love that this is where it all started. Skyscrapers, of course. Did you know that the very first skyscraper, the home insurance building, was built in Chicago in 1885? I love that giants walk the streets of Chicago. This is Daniel Burnham, and in the middle is Frank Lloyd Wright, and over here is Mies van der Rohe. And they are all great Chicago architects, not only Chicago architects, but world-renowned architects. I love that the old and new are friends. You have old and new architecture right next to each other. I love that you can build in all shapes and sizes. I love that people dream big. And this is Archie's big plan for Chicago. Because in 1909, Daniel Burnham wrote the plan of Chicago. Because he said, they needed to have big plans to rebuild the city because the Great Chicago Fire had burned down a lot of the buildings. They had to rebuild. I love that so many people come here to see what makes our city great. And here's a tour guide. You see her giving a tour of downtown Chicago, and they're in front of the art museum. I love that when you cross the busy bridge, it kind of feels like everyone is one big family. That's why I love architecture. That's why I love Chicago. Okay, guys, so if you want to check out the book, you can actually download it for free. You just have to go into Apple Books and ask Mom and Dad for permission to download it, but you could do that on your iPad. Thank you, Wildcats, and I hope you're staying strong. Have a great day. Bye.